You know what nights also do? Why? Why, producers of this program? Why? Why? Why would you do that to us all? Rest in peace, Rich. Welcome to Derry, Episode 7, The Black Spot. Boy, you want to talk about a roller coaster of every kind of emotion and every kind of arc and what, oh boy, this season finale is going to be batshit because if this episode was any indication, rest in peace, Rich. I'm not even Catholic and I will do, my God, I watched this episode while I was at work because I'm in the midst of doing a close open. And because it was slow, I decided, you know what, I'll get through some of it. And then I got through all of it. I had to pause this episode 3 different times. Not because customers happened to come into my work, but even during the dead spots, I had to pause this thing 3 times to collect myself. I knew shit was going to go down. I knew some dark shit and some sad shit was going to happen. And I still wasn't goddamn prepared. Marge, you better find the best goddamn guy when you grow up and make sure that you honor Rich's memory. I don't know what I'm saying. My God, good God, y'all. It is ramping up, folks. We started 1908, and here's Pennywise, a dancing clown. And you know what? Bill is perfect for this. I mean, Tim Curry was a great Pennywise. Do not misunderstand me. Tim Curry, iconic film career. Great character actor. He was great as Pennywise. Bill supersedes him. He is just so goddamn good at this. The gardening section with the puppets and the midget pulling the stuff. I assume you could call them midgets back in 1908. And the daughter, Ingrid, aka Periwinkle, backstage. And there were flowers on the wife's grave. He does the dance, the dance thing where he got, the thing that turned into a meme and everything. People even did one for Cotton Eye Joe. That was for the 2017 It Part 1. And then the kids end up mobbing him a little bit too much. It's great that the kids love him, but he was a little bit pissed off, like, oh shit, these kids are here, I better go back. And Ingrid ends up dressing up like she did as an adult, as a Periwinkle. But she isn't given that name yet. There's the Santini, traveling circus show. Pennywise and Periwinkle. But Periwinkle was Mom's stage name. Well, you can change it if you want. No, I love it. So there's an actual genuine mom because, by the way, he is Pennywise in stage name. He is not actually evil. He's a little unsettling with the amount of drinking and smoking he's doing, but that's about it. And one day the circus will come calling and my act will, be something new, something never before seen. He doesn't get a chance to do that. He does get a chance to carry on his act, but it ain't him. And that night, a boy approaches him and basically says, the children seem drawn to you. Well, that's an unusual thing for a boy to say, standing in the dark that I've never seen before. Why are your eyes glowing, little boy? I want to say everything was on point in this episode. Yeah, there were some episodes that were a little bit blurry, but this nailed it. They nailed it here. They nailed the tone. They nailed the chills. My God. And strange thing for a young boy to say. And, well, I'm trying to find my parents. Well, me too. But that's hard because they're dead, is what Pennywise says. Hey, I hear my mother. You want to come help me find her? He pretty much this evil has hypnotized Pennywise right there. So then Ingrid doesn't know where the hell her dad went. And we see the bloody handkerchief. And then we go to the intro. Never skip. And that's a sizable amount of this episode, actually. It's a pretty long intro. And I'm not complaining. It was great. And then we go right back to the black spot where all the racists are there in the weird mask because they're all cowards. Just like the people that represent ICE because they're all cowards. And all racists are cowards. And deserve to be chased out of town and humiliated and exposed for who they are. But anyway, give us Hank and we'll leave. Well, there's one girl named Norma. Her dad's there and says, what are you doing? Obviously the dad. Obviously the dad is there. I mean, or at least somebody that is close to that, because get out of here. Which, by the way, you kind of exposing your own business there, Norma's dad. Hank basically gives himself up because he's like, I don't want any bloodshed. I didn't do anything, but you know what? I really don't want more people to die. Well, everybody puts their goddamn guns down. Even the people that are in this, military shed thing that they built. That Dick and everybody built. Dick and Reg and various others. They got government-issued guns. Okay, you know what? We're not going to do anything. We're going to leave. And then they barricade the doors, and then they proceed to have firebombs. Firebombs, you just hired him. Nobody will get that unless you are a deep-cut MST3K fan. And this is where the shit really goes south. Because, good God, the camera work is incredible. The smoke, just all this smoke. Not now, Terry. Just the incredible work here. This is nuts. Dick is suddenly seeing ghosts, by the way, because Dick's box got opened, which I'm just going to roll with it. And all this stuff's going on. People are getting shot, getting destroyed. And really, even though this is, TVMA, even though they allow a lot of stuff, they had to cut a few things. And they wanted to keep it shrouded. Like, what you can't quite see is a lot scarier. And man, there's a point where there's this fridge, and they find the secret exit in the floor, but one guy gets shot, and Dick is able to find it, and then he sees, I believe, the warrior, the warrior princess ghost. I forgot the name, because I've reviewed a lot of stuff, and also there's a lot of stuff to keep track of. But then, here's Pennywise. He gets somebody named Noreen. Not going to end well for Miss Noreen. But then he's eating Noreen. So really it is clear when we see Noreen later what's going on. And I believe it's Ronnie that sees him and says, what's the matter? Do I have face on my face? That's pretty good. And then, what's the matter, Dickie? Seeing things? Oh, I think they see you too. Again, Bill, perfect here. My God, great shit. And Dick does get a few out. Will, Ronnie, and Hank. And then the fridge is there, or something. Basically, they're blocked in. Rich, Marge, anybody else, they're blocked in. And Marge, and Rich, they're going to get in that fridge, but there's only room, and he shows Marge in. He shuts the door. I don't know why this got me. I thought we'd reached our quota on child death. Not that I'm annoyed by children. I mean, I want them to die, but it's like in the first episode, I was like, okay, all this, and then he's like, the whole thing about knights. Like they don't just have jars of piss on the thing; they also protect maidens. And he they confess their feelings for each other. It's nice that the fire sat back and did this, by the way. Okay, I know I'm poking holes in the emotion, but forgive me. Fire's just like, let's take a break. It's like that fire in that one part of Final Fantasy 3/6. I don't remember the goddamn island. But anyway, yeah, basically, he does all that, and then boom, and he dies protecting her, making sure she was shielded. Yeah, so yeah, I had to pause after that. I was like, fuck, I think I took like a 15-minute break from watching it. I was like, fuck, I need to go I had a little work to do anyway, but goddamn. And then Stanley, the meat gentleman, not the fishmonger, the guy that seemed all excited and everything, and he was all nice and even around Charlotte, but nope, he was very upset because it turns out that he knows Ingrid. That's Ingrid's husband, by the way. Very abusive. His car got fucked up, and Pennywise shows up and takes care of Stanley. By the way, also, Periwinkle, Ingrid, shows up. What are you doing with that? Oh, that stuff, it's who I am. Well, black and blue is what you're going to be. Don't hit your significant others. Just don't. The fuck. And then Pennywise has a cleaver, and And she's so excited because she knew that they were drawn to fear, and she knew that he would come back. Even showed the bow and stuff like that, did the bow. And that was nice. And it was a nice callback and everything. But you did good. You did very good. But I'm going to go to sleep now. What do you mean you're going to go to sleep? And for 27 years of it, because she was fooled into thinking that her dad, by the way, didn't look any goddamn different. I know that her dad probably was, her lifeblood, and she wanted to find him, and it's been 44 years, but still, he's going to look different. Oh, where's my father? I ate him. And he's inside me. He's coming to get out, trying to get this little girl, come to Papa, and then opens his mouth and we get the deadlights. I was wondering when the deadlights were going to make an appearance, and they did. And that was great. And so suddenly Ingrid is, as if she wasn't fucked up in the head enough as it is. Now she's seen the deadlights. And then the firefighters are sifting through all the stuff, which a lot of people are dead. A lot of people are dead. But they find Marge in the fridge, and then she sees Rich's body. God damn it. God damn. Fuck. Anyway, Will and Ronnie are back, and they were in the exit, but they managed to get to Marge. And then, as the pieces are being picked up, literally pieces of people, Noreen is just smiling really weird, because that ain't Noreen, pal. That ain't her. Whoever Noreen was. I actually forgot how she was related. She's probably one of the wives of one of the military guys. And Ingrid is just all fucked up because of the deadlights, but she smiles. So yeah, this is, oh boy. We are about to head to a sizable, like, Night of the Living Dead amped up shit. Or Dawn of the Dead amped up shit for a type of ending. And Leroy Hanlon, I can't help but say it like that because of the meme. If you don't know what meme, you are probably too young to be watching this. And Charlotte, they meet Hank in the woods. And Dick is not doing well. Dick never does well, especially when he just spits up and then goes to sleep. But he can't handle the noise, a.k.a. seeing all the dead, like the dead people that just recently passed away. And now because his box is open, he is just seeing all this shit. And Leroy knows about Hank, according to Charlotte. And the idea is they want to try to get Dick out of town, or get Dick. They want to get Hank out of town. But they got to go back to base. That thing is around, except Dick says it isn't. It's asleep or something. All right. But then they're going to still look for these pillars rather. Like one where their warrior chief was buried. The lady that had the dagger and all that shit that didn't work out. She knows where, and Dick is going to point her out. Because, you know what? Or Dick's going to point out. Basically because Dick is bound and determined to do this stuff, even though he knows every bit of evidence. He is being told constantly not to do this. He's being given every chance not to do this, but he's compelled. Also, he has a job to do. And Leroy says to Charlotte, when this mission is done, we're leaving. We're getting out of Derry. Don't worry. I personally would just leave and risk going AWOL because I think he'd be okay going to Massachusetts. Well, actually, racism, maybe not. But then we get the news report where basically they thank the guys in blue and say, and this is the wording of the goddamn peep because it's going to look really bad because of my hair or lack of. But it says an illegal colored speakeasy. By the way, this is 1962. Was speakeasy even a word used after 1930? 1935 maybe? So, the Agora, the big old bloodshed event is done, and everybody can just leave, or relax. Don't do it if you want to go through it. And 17 young souls, 23 people in total, and, well, I'll see you shitheads in 27 years. That guy ain't gonna make it 27 weeks, later or before. Now we go to a dig site. So mind you, we have the kids still dealing with all this trauma, And the military's bright idea is, okay, we know people died, but we need to go dig this shit up. Francis, no, don't. What the hell's wrong with you? Excuse me. And Will wants to help his friends. Charlotte, however, basically wants to get help Hank, so she has Hank dress up as Leroy. Are you sure this will work? Have you seen Derry? Point taken is what he said. And they go to Lily. Lily, who's still clutching the dagger. We could have used you in the speakeasy. Probably not, actually, now that I think about it. There is a dog, an adorable dog that runs out quickly because I guess it's checked and clear in time. And again, poor Rich. God, poor Rich. All he wanted to do was eventually Marge, and he seemed to genuinely care about her. First, Marge, tries to cut out her own goddamn eyes, and now she lost the boy that loved her. And there's the toy plane that he threw. He could never get to Main Street, even though at one point went through the sewer. And then they managed to dig up one of the pillars, but it's just a turtle shell. Oh, wow, it's turtle power. It's not a blue shell, so you can't win at Mario Kart. And then they pry it open, and then they get the piece of the meteorite. Why are you so stupid? Why do we never learn? You were supposed to leave this alone. Also, how did they get these in turtle shells? I mean, I know the thing about turtles, the forms it could take, but whatever, it's fine. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Anyway, they take the pillar meteorite thing to the base, and now it isn't asleep, by the way. I mean, we find that out a little bit later. But, relax, Major, we're in the home stretch. You've done good. You're literally in the home stretch, because you are about to be stretched from one home to the other while Pennywise plays goddamn, the harp on your ribs. And Charlotte asks Rose to help get Hank and Ronnie to the across the border, because, since he's pronounced dead, it's hard to get a dead man over the border. Says you. So, and I will be offering no further stuff on that. By the way, highly illegal. So, they're going to analyze this thing. They're going to analyze this piece of meteorite. You know what they're going to do? They're going to go to one thing where Leroy basically makes a last-ditch effort to stop them from not analyzing, but dumping this thing into molten cinder lava, whatever the fuck. And Francis basically says, everybody put their weapons down. Everybody stop doing this. Okay, we are going to do this, by the way, because because this country's coming apart. The worst enemy is within, and they will listen to fear. And you want to make America like Derry. Oh, great, making America Derry again. Great, that's what we're goddamn doing. Boy, things really haven't changed in 60-something years. And they burn it in a pit. And, Leroy will not be allowed to leave the base, so he's going to have to make a break for it. He's going to have to do without his friend, because his friend died a few episodes ago. And, well, Pennywise is back awake for one more episode. And then Will gets a call from Ron, and Ron is talking about, I can't believe what happened to Rich and this stuff, and it gets more sinister. And, boy, I loved, seeing this and hearing this, and he's coming for them all. And then suddenly Pennywise is like, I can't hear you. And, on the phone, I can't hear you. No, Pennywise is on the fridge. What is it with Pennywise and fridges? And he jumps down and gets Will, and then the deadlights, and there you go. And obviously they're going to have to rescue Will. And good fucking luck with that. My God. Poor Rich. Poor Rich. Rest in peace, Rich. My God. Poor Rich. Good God, y'all. That's going to be... by the way, will be back on a normal schedule, and I'll actually be posting my review a little bit sooner, because I'm locked into episode 8. Unfortunately, we're going to have to wait about a year and a half, possibly, for season 2. But I think we're going with 1935, and we're going with 1908. I assume. Considering in the other movies they killed him at the end, so... Probably just do that. Fine. Go all the way back to goddamn, I don't know, all the way back to the 1600s, see what happens. You got infinite possibilities here. But nevertheless, roller coaster of emotions. I had a blast, even though I needed to take a break several times. So, agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Ritland. Until we make one last trip to Derry again, happy trails to you.